Greetings, it's the New York Thrifter here, although I might have to change my name because as you can see from the scenery, I'm no longer in New York. I am in London. My family and I moved to London the beginning of September, and at first I was really on the fence whether or not I was going to be reselling here in England, but I decided that I definitely wanted to give it a go. I didn't bring any of my reselling stuff from America when I moved, and so it's going to be a little bit like starting over. And also, reselling here in England is much different. There's not as large of a market. Obviously, it's a smaller country, and clothes don't seem to sell as much. And so, it's going to be really interesting to see how I navigate that. Now, I'm not going to go as hard as I did when I was in New York. I absolutely promised my husband that I wouldn't have large death piles. And so in upcoming videos, I'm going to explain how I'm going to manage all of my items that I buy. But I decided, because we are not under lockdown anymore in London, to go thrifting for the first time in months and months and months. I am in Ealing here at Bond Street in West London, and I found what they call charity shops or thrift shops, and I waited until everyone was outside before going in. I didn't want to get in anybody's way. And so at first I just kind of looked in the window for the Cancer Research UK. These charity shops are on many, many street corners in the UK, and so you will see them pretty much everywhere, and they are very, very small. It's a very different experience than thrifting when you're in the United States, where you just had massive aisles. So while I was outside and looking, I saw that there was a Tiffany's bracelet in the window for £60, and I did leave that behind, but later in this video I will go back and I will explain how much you would be able to make if you did decide to purchase that item. So let's head on inside and see what kind of brands we are looking at in the UK. Here is a pair of Mother jeans, and I immediately saw a flaw on them. There is a little bit of fraying right there on the side. These Mother jeans were marked at £6, 5 pence, which is about $8.75. And so for $8.75, I just didn't think it was worth it. When I got home, I did want to do a little bit of investigation just to show you how I would look up items and know whether or not they were worth it. So by typing in Mother Jeans Red Stripe, I was immediately able to pull up some different pictures of supermodels wearing these jeans. And so they were definitely a hot commodity probably around the year 2017, so they're a few years old. While I was doing my research, I found an old listing on Poshmark. This is in the United States. We don't have Poshmark here in England, but a brand new pair of these jeans sold for $64. And so that was a really good flip. If I was in America and I saw these jeans at a thrift store, I would probably buy them and see if maybe I could fix the fraying on the side to resell them maybe for $25 or $30. But of course, I'm not in America. I'm going to be selling on eBay UK. So I went onto that site. I typed in the name of these Mother jeans, and then I clicked on solds, and it was pretty surprising actually. You can see here £18, um, you know, on bid. Another one £8 with one bid, $14.99. One for $32.75. $4.99 for the red pair. So even though some of them went for higher, I feel like I made a really good decision by not picking these up. And in the future, if I see a pair of Mother jeans, it would have to probably be in pretty impeccable condition for me to really go after them, especially because they can be pretty expensive to ship. Next up, I found a pair of current Elliott jeans, and they were £6, which is about a little over $8 in America. And these are a travesty of the 80s with their red acid washed. And look at the rise on these. That goes all the way up over your belly button. And so for current Elliott, I did not get these. And again, I think I made the right decision When I got home, again, I did a little bit of a Google search. I tried finding some red acid wash jeans and I was able to find them quickly. However, I noticed something right away, and that is the tag did not look the same on these jeans as the ones that I found. And so I did a little bit of sleuthing and I found out that Current Elliott now has a brand new tag. And so I want everyone to take a look at this, because when you're going after some Current Elliott jeans, these newer ones are probably going to be worth more than the older tag. Checking out some Current Elliott red jeans on eBay UK shows that I made the right choice by leaving these behind. We're looking at solds of about £5, £7 50 pence, £4, and so it was a pretty good decision not to grab these. Next up, I looked through the shoes, and the shoes I found were mainly just kind of cheap mall brands. They wanted between £12 and maybe £15. So we're looking at around $16 to $20 per pair, and these just weren't worth it. There just wasn't anything special about them, and they were all pretty worn. However, that changed when I found a pair of what I thought were Alexander McQueen, which is about as designer gets. But as soon as I picked these up, I noticed something was a little off. Other than the actual labels on them being kind of worn away, I also noticed that they were really, really lightweight, and that just didn't seem right to me. Now, these were marked at £30, which is around $40 US. And as I started studying them more, I noticed more and more things wrong with them. Now, while the soles looked really good, I looked at the back, and as you can see, it should say Alexander McQueen there on the back, and part of that was rubbed off. And these shoes, brand new, are around $500, and there's just no way that a $500 pair of shoes would lose the logo like that, because essentially you buy the shoes for the logo. So I left them behind, and I'm really glad that I did. When I got home, I went online and I tried to find the reason why I thought they were fake, because a lot of the questions that I get here on my channel if I say something is fake is, how did you know? And I'm showing you the soles because I wasn't aware at the time, because I don't run into a lot of Alexander McQueen shoes. But when you look at the bottom, on the pair on the bottom, that the real McQueens, they actually have the name, that the logo there in this on the sole, whereas the ones on top, that's a screen grab from my video, and as you can see, it doesn't have the logo. So right there, that is a giveaway that if you find something that has logos that are fading or peeling off, or they're not where they should be, pass by it. It might look good. It's not worth getting dinged by eBay by selling fake goods. I'm going to quickly go through the last few items that I looked at. This is a 6-pound top from Diane von Furstenberg. I'm kind of on the fence about buying this brand anymore, just because it seems to be everywhere, and this one was damaged, so I left it behind. Here is a Weekend Max Mara top for $7, but the print looked a little dated to me, and also the fabric, if you could feel it, it was balling and peeling. And so again, I left that one behind. And finally, I found this amazing vintage Champion t-shirt, and it was a size extra small for £8. And I looked everywhere on it. I couldn't find a single flaw, even though it had to be decades old. There wasn't a stain, there wasn't a tear. It was not a single stitch, and I know that some people, when they're looking into vintage tees, that single stitch means that it's older. So I'm not exactly sure how to date this. If you know, please leave a comment below. But I thought £8 is a little too much, and so I said no for that. Behind the counter, they had this Marc Jacobs bag, and it had these really giant jewels on it. It was worth £20, and it looked almost impeccable. Like, I literally looked around to find anything wrong with it, any flaws, and it was just really well taken care of. Even the bottom of the bag was really well taken care of. The only thing that was a problem was it didn't have the larger strap that went around. That strap was missing. Again, I'm not too much into authentication, so I do know a few things of what I'm looking for, and this bag just seemed a little too new, a little too nice, too unworn, if you will. It also didn't have the metal feet that you sometimes find at the bottom of bags, designer bags of this size. And all of these things taken together, it just didn't have the richness of leather like you would expect from, a bag made in Italy that would sell for hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And so I left it behind begrudgingly, knowing that if the next person that came in and could actually authenticate it and didn't mind that the larger strap was missing from it, then hey, they've got a really great 20-pound designer bag, and I hope they love it to death. But it just wasn't for me, couldn't authenticate it. And so I had to say goodbye. But I think this is going to be one of those items that I kind of look back on and wonder, what if? Late at night, going to sleep, wondering, was it real or not? So that is the end of what I was looking at in the store. A couple came in and I wanted to give them their room, and so I headed out. But I did promise that we would go back and kind of take a look at that Tiffany bracelet that I saw in the window. So I'm going to give you another look. It was 60 pounds, which is about $80. And if I would have invested in this bracelet, this would have been one of kind of the larger investments I would make in a single piece while thrifting. And this being my first, literally my first day back to reselling, I couldn't do it. So I, of course, could not wait to get back to my computer so I could see what it is worth. Now, if you were going to buy this off of the Tiffany website, brand new, one that looks very similar is 355 pounds. And so clearly an expensive piece, not as expensive as it could be. It is Tiffany after all. But really one of their more iconic pieces where it has the tag that says, please return to Tiffany. Being the glutton for punishment that I am, I then had to go check out the site, The Real Real. And I've spoken about this before. It is an online consignment store where you send in your designer items. The Real Real photographs it, authenticates it, lists it, sells it, and then gives you a commission for whatever you're selling. And so, assuming that I had bought this item in America for $80 and it was real, I set it into the Real Real and they listed it for probably around $275, maybe $300. This is kind of the closest I could find to the one that I had. And so if you make a commission of between like 35 and 40% on jewelry, you're looking at kind of breaking even there. And this really goes to show how careful you have to be when you're reselling and how much money you're willing to spend or you can risk on buying something, not knowing how much you're going to be able to sell it for or whether or not it is authentic. So, with that being said, I am going to sign off. If you want to see what I did end up purchasing at this thrift store, which I did buy two things, you're going to have to tune into the next video. That's my big cliffhanger. And also, I want to find out what you've been up to. So, if you can leave a comment below and tell me what the last few months has been for you, I'd really, really love to hear it. Obviously, moving countries during a pandemic was quite the adventure, but we stayed very, very safe. We followed our doctor's orders, and nobody in my family got sick. So I'm very, very thankful for that. But what has the last few months meant for you, for your family, for your reselling business? Leave me a comment below because I am really, really in need after being under lockdown to have some communication with people. So I'd love to hear from you, and I will be shooting another video shortly.